Hey guys, Chris and the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. I'm at home this afternoon. It's Saturday. I spent a couple of hours at the shop with Christine. We had a busy morning and she just messaged me and says there's customers, tourists everywhere and the shop's really busy. One of the good things about having one shop between two of us, she can run things there and I can get some stuff organised here, and there'll be times when I'll run the shop and she can go off to a craft show or something. So there's some really big advantages in just having the one shop other than the expenses. This video is going to be a continuation of the cleanup at home. I've got a few hours, I think, this afternoon before it's supposed to get showery. Coco's with me. We're going to have a bit of a walk around the yard and I'm going to see if I can identify whether it's worthwhile doing another scrap run to Melbourne on Monday. I'm planning to, but I don't want to run down for just $500 worth. So let's have a walk around the yard and identify what I can take, what I have to do to get it ready, and what else I can move around the yard just to make it look a little better. Okay, Coco, let's go for a walk down the yard. Come on, let's come for a walk. You coming? Let's go. Okay, now we'll get back up into the carport in a minute because there is some scrap there that I can put in the van straight away. I can load the van anyway. After I have my shoulder surgery on Wednesday, I'm not actually going to be allowed to drive for 6 weeks. I have to have a sling and rest my shoulder full on for 6 weeks before I can even start physio. So there'll be no driving, and Christine doesn't like driving the van. So even if I load it and don't go to the scrapyard, at least it gets it out of the yard. But if I can, and if I've got a good value load, I'll take it down because we don't know if the scrap prices are going to drop further or not. And you know, they're still pretty reasonable at this stage. So I'm going through these wheelie bins that I brought home from the shop. This one's got some wire in the bottom of it, and I do plan on taking some insulated wire. There's a few buckets of just various sundry things that got thrown in as we're cleaning up. A lot of that's going to need sorting, and I'm not going to muck around too much with that at the moment. Any cast aluminium, like you can see that piston on the top there, hang on, I'll reach down and grab that. Hopefully I don't fall in the bin. So that's a small two-stroke piston, probably out of a chainsaw. You can't throw that in clean cast aluminium because it has got rings and they're well and truly corroded in. That piston looks like it's, before it went corroded, it looks like it had badly seized in the engine. Anyway, I'll make a bucket of dirty cast aluminium because I am going to take some of that down. I'm not going to save aluminium, as I've mentioned a few times. There's some more wire here just to chop the plugs off, and some low-grade wire there with plugs and things on. I'll take that. So I'll empty this bin shortly. This is a bucket of irony brass or dirty brass. I might just leave that because I can keep a small bucket of that in the shed. I don't want to take down one bucket of stuff and then the guys at the scrapyard have to do lots of different weighings to cash it all in. Same with some of these computer heat sinks, copper alley heat sinks. Look, if I've got enough of the copper alley radiators, I think I can throw them in. There's a brass tap that I might even keep to use. That's a magnetron from a microwave. I'll probably get the magnets out of that, so we might leave that for now. And I think that will be copper as well. It's probably nickel plated copper and then aluminium fins. So I will be taking some radiators, so I'll probably pull those out. So I'll go through some of these buckets and sort that out. These boxes were stuff from the shop, old electrical fittings which I will be using, and some teapots. So there's not much other scrap. Oh, there are some, there's a large air compressor there that doesn't have the gas in. The compressor's already been removed. So I might get into that and pull the radiators out of that. And the other white one there also has a couple of big copper radiators. So I'll probably get to those because that'll clean up an area of the yard there. And I want to stack some firewood behind the shed. Let's go and have a look at what else. This bin has just some low-grade wire, so that's fine. I'll top that bin up. As I said, I'm planning on taking the wire. Now these two bins here have EPNS, which is silver-plated, mostly antique or vintage tableware. I'm pretty sure the scrapyard are going to buy this as brass because EPNS stands for electroplated nickel silver. So it's silver plated, and the base metal is what they call nickel silver. And nickel silver doesn't actually contain silver. It's a alloy of copper and a few other things, but mostly copper. So it should go as brass because it's an alloy of copper, much the same. So I reckon we'll get brass price for all that. I'll take that down. And also this cutlery is all the same stuff. Most cutlery, if it's non-magnetic, will be silver plated, EPNS. Some of it though you can get non-magnetic stainless steel, but I'm sure this, I've sorted all this. I just got to clean it up a little bit and put it in those tubs. There's a brass knapsack sprayer there. I should be able to clean that up. I've got a little bit of brass to take. There's some radiators here. These are the copper brass tanks. So I've just got to clean the steel items off them and they can go. This box is going to be just dirty cast aluminium, or dirty aluminium, irony aluminium if you like. There's some assorted stuff there. So I'm not going to go to too much trouble, but I do want to get as much bulk out of the yard as I can. That's some brass. That's aluminium. Yeah, I might even throw that in with dirty just to get rid of it because I'm not going to save it. There were some other things here I touched with the grinder yesterday. That's a large sliding bolt from a door, and I thought it might have been stainless steel, but look at the lovely yellow where I touched it with the grinder. So that's all brass and quite heavy. Bit more brass there. So I'll, if I've got a big bucket full of clean brass, I might take it. You know, as I said, a bucket of brass is easy to put under the workbench inside, and it's not going to look too messy. Okay, let's go up. I've backed the van down the lane, so I'm going to start loading it regardless. But whether I actually go Monday probably just depends on how much value I get in there. Now, hopefully Coco doesn't bark at us again. They're all copper brass radiators, all stripped, ready to go. I'll weigh them up. There should be a fair bit of value there. And this side is all copper aluminium radiators, and they're all basically clean. A lot of those were out of air conditioners. There's another radiator I have to clean up there. That's a copper brass one. These ones are all ready to go. I think there's more behind here. So I can load all those in the van. I need to sort out some of this stuff here. I'm going to put that air compressor on Facebook, probably for 20 bucks or something. It used to go fine. I haven't used it for a long time. Don't have hoses with it, and I don't need it. Yep, so Coco's going to bark at us. Data cable, that can go. There's 50 kilos there. And this one is, actually that's, yeah, what I'd call mid-grade insulated wire. The ones on top are actually out of a welder, and I'm not going to try and clean them up. They can just go as they are. Quite heavy copper. And this one I think is also mid-grade wire. So we're going to have enough for a load. I think I'll just start loading and I'll make some notes as I go. That's data cable type stuff again. So I've got the van nice and empty. I'll put the ramp up here so I can put the wheelie bins up in there, and we'll start loading. Coco's having fun with a pot plant at the moment. I hope that didn't have one of Mummy's plants in it, Coco. So, yeah, well, she has been known to destroy the odd plant, but she has a lot of fun with plastic pots, don't you? Now, I've just been enjoying the nice afternoon. It's overcast, but it's quite pleasant. And I've just been stripping out this, I thought it was like an old air conditioner radiator. And I think it probably was, but it's extremely old. And the good thing about old stuff is that they used heavy gauge stuff, and they used good metal. Now, normally on these things you'd have aluminium fins and copper pipes. Well, these are copper pipes and copper fins, so the whole radiator is solid copper. It's very heavy. Even the bracket around the top isn't gel, as you'd expect, and it's put together with copper rivets. So as you can see from the yellow, that plate is solid brass, the rivets were copper. I'm just levering it apart as quickly as I can. The end housings are actually aluminium, and I'm going to leave the brackets on, and they can just go as dirty aluminium. The top cover was a nice sheet of copper as well. So they certainly made things, you know, they didn't spare any expense back then. I'm going to weigh up this radiator just when I get it out and show you what it weighs and what it's actually worth. Just one radiator out of an old air compressor, or sorry, air conditioner. I'm not sure what they're called, but it's out of I'm pretty sure it's out of a cooler of some sort. So just as a matter of interest, those two plates, top and bottom, are solid brass, as I mentioned. They weigh 3.5 kilos, and when brass was about $8 a kilo, there's well over $20. It's dropped back a bit now, but even so, 20 bucks or so. And the big radiator itself is 19.4 kilos of copper. That should go as number 2 because other than solder it's all copper. So that's, look, previously that was almost $200. It's pulled back a bit now, but it's got to be 175 or so. Well worth pulling it out, and only took me about half an hour. So there's a nice little bonus. I thought I'd sold all my good copper, or my big stash of copper. Also from this same unit we have that plate and some pipe. So I'll keep rounding up extras, and it looks like we will certainly have enough for another trip on Monday. Alright, we'll call it quits for today. It's we're rapidly running out of daylight. I've still got a few radiators to clean up, but I'm pretty happy with my progress here today. I went back and helped Christine close up shop. She had a really busy day and we sold lots of stuff, so that's really nice. Just sorting out some stuff here still, but a lot of it's getting really organised. I've got those lawnmowers out from down the back, so they'll be going, they're alloy based ones, so I'm actually going to throw them in the van and take them to Melbourne as irony aluminium. That's just general steel. So since I'm not going to have a big load for the van, I might as well take the mowers down there and get some value. I've got some other irony aluminium I found as well. I've cleaned this big workbench off. It's a really heavy old workbench. It's been in the weather for a number of years. Someone's bolted a great big heavy plate steel on there. I'm not sure why. I'm going to put that on Facebook Marketplace for, I don't know, maybe $50. It doesn't owe me anything. I would like to get rid of it quickly to clean this part of the yard up. I don't mind if someone gets a bargain. You know, with all this cleanup and scrap metal runs, my bank account's never been healthier, so I'm happy to pass things on quickly and cheaply. And remember, my business is still going, so it's good PR for the shop. All the rest of this part of the yard is nicely cleaned up. I'm going to move the tin, the corrugated iron roofing down along the back fence there, and that will clean up this area, make it quite easy to keep neat and tidy, easy to mow. And I've also taken a photo of this little saw bench thing here. I'm going to put that on Facebook Marketplace just for $20, which is probably, you know, cheap just for the motor. It's a 1/2 horsepower motor. But I'm happy to move it on quickly. It does work. It's got a tungsten tip blade on it, but someone made the top out of chipboard and it's swelled up in the weather, so you know it obviously needs attention. But for parts, or at least, you know, at least just for the motor, it's good value. Hopefully someone comes and picks it up quickly. So now that the mowers and whatnot have gone down this back section, it's a bit easier to get down to, and we'll probably just have to spray this area. I won't be able to use a trimmer or anything. This mower is the one I'm going to keep and do up. It's an electric start 2-stroke Victor. I've also decided to keep this base because I started doing a restoration video on this mower and the engine is actually in the workshop somewhere, so I might get back to that one down the track as I finish the project off. So it's nice and light, it's easy to move around, so I'll just leave that one here for now. We've stashed a bit of other stuff down in the back corner here out of sight, and I've put all that spare timber, and I had down my little back veranda area behind my workshop. It's a good spot to store building materials. I've got a lot of building materials down there, so at least it's out of sight. It's neat enough. It'll be easy to keep the yard relatively neat if the clutter's down behind the shed. So yeah, pretty happy with the progress today. I haven't loaded anything in the van yet, but I'm not worried about that. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I do want to finish scrapping the radiators out of that air conditioning unit as well, and that will leave some space behind the shed to move the crates of firewood. That would be these crates of firewood just here. They can be stacked down the back of the shed. They don't need to be out of the weather. I've got plenty of dry firewood at the moment, and it just keeps it out of the road, and it'll free up this front part of the shed for me to put that big cast iron frame with the Dawn vise on it, so that I've got a little outdoor working area, say for welding, or you know, when I can't get something into my shed and I need a vise. So we might put a little bit of gravel or something down here, and that'll be a good spot to work outdoors on a nice day. So there we go, we'll wind this video up now. It's been a productive day. Join me tomorrow when we'll probably just sort out some last of the stuff to go to Melbourne on Monday, and we'll load the van. So thanks for watching again, guys. It's worked out quite a nice day in it. The rain's held off. It's been great conditions. I like filming when the sun's not out too, because you don't get shadows everywhere. So join me again tomorrow. Hopefully the weather's similar. Again, I'll help Christine open the shop, and then I'll come home and we'll do another video with what I sort out tomorrow, and we'll get the van loaded, and I reckon we're going to have a pretty good load for our last load still. Won't be too bad. All right, we'll catch you then. Bye for now.